The Neville brothers were a soul slash funk slash R&B kind of slash pop New Orleans, a band from New Orleans. They were initially formed by the genuinely brothers Art, Charles, Aaron, and Cyril, or possibly Aaron, depending on how he likes it pronounced. They formed in 1976, and they continued as a band until 2012 when they officially split up, or call it a day, which is a long stretch. They had a reunion concert in 2015. For the length of time that they've been going, the number of albums they've produced isn't huge. It's 9 studio albums, plus, other kind of albums as well. Hi, my name's Dan, and this was their second album. I like to do some description first, usually. I don't normally pick apart the tracks individually. I'm going to kind of have to do that somewhat for this album because it's very diverse. So in some ways, to start off with, I'll say that they've got some similarities to the Jacksons at this point, not just because they're a bunch of brothers singing together, but stylistically they're kind of in the pop funk area and in the soul slower songs area. So we've got effectively the first 3 tracks are disco funk tracks, including the title track. Then the next track is a Do-Wop song, the 10 Commandments of Love. Then there's a soul song. It's pretty kind of straight, fairly slow soul, called Sitting in Limbo. So they're from New Orleans, and I think there's a law in New Orleans that if you are at all successful as a music artist, you have to do a recording of the song Iko Iko. I don't know if you've come across this song before. There are loads of different versions of it out there, and they vary quite wildly. But I love this song, partly because you can get so many different versions. I don't really understand the words, but that's fine. So they did a version, but it's kind of crossed between. It's a 2-song medley between a song called Brother John and Iko Iko, and there's a lot of similarities between the 2 songs anyway, stylistically and chords, etc. So this is a Cajun kind of track. They've kind of bopped it up a bit. Then we get a crooner song which sounds like something that Frank Sinatra might do, which is a cover of the song Mona Lisa that you might know. It's quite an old song. And then finally, we've got a Calypso song called Run Joe. And on the credits on Wikipedia, it doesn't even say who wrote this. So I have no idea where it came from. But it's a song about a guy on the run from the police because he's a cocaine dealer and they're trying to track him down. And so stylistically and kind of thematically, this kind of jumps about quite a lot. So what do I think of it? Well, back to the description. I need to tell you, or I want to tell you, that it's a huge production. There's a lot of people involved. So looking at the list of vocalists and musicians, there are 30 people on this list. It doesn't kind of break down who's on what track. However, there is information that on a couple of the tracks, there are vocals from a certain Cissy Houston, who was the mother of Whitney Houston, and actually also Whitney, at the age of about 13 or 14, I tried to work that out, was in those tracks as well. And also amongst that number of people, there are more Nevilles, as well as the 4 brothers. There's several other Nevilles, some of them, I don't know if the other brothers, there's a nephew, etc., kind of getting involved. So, right, on to my opinion. I like most of it. I like funky stuff. It's definitely stuff that gets me going. This is kind of foot tapping stuff. Some of it. I like Iko Iko, as I've said. It's one of my favourite songs. I'm actually slightly gutted that haven't had the excuse to put Aiko Aiko either at the front of this review or at the end. And the reason was because I think I need to put one of the slower ones at the end. So here's a little window into what I do. The track that I put at the start of the review, I want to be as the most popular, the most well-known, or the most typical track. And then the one that I put at the end is the one that will give the biggest impression of the spread of the album, or one that I particularly like. So I felt like it was a bit disingenuous to give you another upbeat song when there are several slower songs, so I thought I'd put a slower song on, so that's going to be Mona Lisa. Right. I know I'm waffling more than usual, and that's quite something. So I like most of it. I wasn't so keen on the slower songs, except for Mona Lisa, because I have a soft spot for that song, so I quite liked it. So that's kind of, 6 out of 8 tracks that I liked, and if it hadn't been for those pulling the score down, this would have been over 8 for a score, but they're just pulling it down, so it's going to be a 7.9. What do you think of this album? Let me know in the comments down below. That's it from me for now.
Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, Manhattan angel. Oh, so like the lady with the mystic smile. Is it only 'cause you're lonely they have blamed